In 29 years of doing police work, I reflect on how many times I've been chased out of backyards by pets, animals, dogs, and chased on top of cars. In these urban environments that we serve today, it's very important to have the skills and tools to deal with pets, animals, and wildlife in our community. What's the answer? Better training, better informed training to teach us basic skills on how to deal with pets and animals. Our job? To prevent harm. I hope you enjoy the training.
We Americans love animals. Millions of us think of our pets as part of the family. We also want wild animals to be free and healthy. But when some dogs become a problem, and wildlife shows up in the backyard, situations can be challenging. In this program, we'll cover best practices for handling dogs and other animals you might encounter in the field. Most dogs, like most people, want to enjoy life and stay out of trouble. But when they're under stress, feeling protective, if they've been abused, or trained to fight, dogs can be a challenge. This segment covers how to prepare for dog interactions, identify dog behaviors, and handle common situations, both on your own and working with animal control officers.
I've been in animal control for 20 years. The first 10 years of my career were served in the City of Oakland for the Oakland Police Department. The last 10 years I've been in the City of Alameda. And I've encountered many cases where animals are either aggressive out loose in public or have to be contained inside either a home or in a yard.
Throughout this program, Officer Barrett will lend her experience and expertise, showing how to put knowledge into action. About 6 in 10 households have pets of some kind. 4 in 10 households have dogs.
When dogs bark on their property, it's not necessarily that it's trying to convey that it's aggressive. That's the dog's job, to protect the property. Many dogs take it only to that level. They bark, there's nothing behind the bark. And so it's very important to know that barking in and of itself does not mean aggression.
Most Americans consider their pets to be family members, and recent court decisions have shown the need to handle pet interactions carefully. Virtually every city and county have codes related to animals, and it's important for officers to know them. But knowing dogs and their behavior can be the difference between a simple response scenario where everyone wins and a difficult scenario where temperatures rise, injuries occur, and firearms are discharged.
In any situation, especially in the non-life-threatening situations, you just really want to take the time to assess the scene. Sometimes they'll have a dog house, they'll have dog bowls, there's no dog there. And then other times there's nothing and you've got a big burly dog running at you.
In this section, we'll cover telltale signs of unseen dogs, dog body language, including the most common types of dog body posturing, and dog packs. Dispatchers should routinely ask callers about the presence of animals and advise officers appropriately.
Hello?
But when information isn't available, officers can assess a property for signs of dogs. A fence line with well-trampled foliage or bare ground suggests a dog may be there. Food or water bowls may indicate dogs are present, with larger or multiple bowls suggesting more or larger dogs. Trees or posts with a chain, rope, or other restraint may indicate the presence of a dog. Dog toys or beds, feces, animal odors, any or all of these may indicate a dog is on site.
My best advice to people or officers is to take the time to assess the situation. Use common sense, because common sense generally will get you through. Pay attention in this video to the section that talks about dog behavior, and again, it's common sense.
Get back. So right now, the dog is not really aggressive. He's more more scared of us. That's why he backed up. If he would have really been aggressive, he would have charged us.
Most dogs don't want to bite. Most dogs bark. They posture and bluff. But most dogs, even barking, posturing, bluffing dogs, will only bite as a last resort. That's why it's important to know and recognize the different body postures.
You want to really look at the dog's body language and the facial features. And you'll actually be able to see that dogs have facial characteristics. They smile, they frown, they can look concerned. You look at their eyebrows, you look at the way they hold their mouth, the way their ears are held. So these are the things that the officer should look at first. The body language, how the dog is either facing them, if the hair is on end, if the muscles are rigid. These are things that kind of indicate that the dog is on alert.
An offensive dog is the dog that is likely to bite. This dog stands stiffly and may or may not be barking. The tail is high and erect, the ears are forward, and the dog will stare at the perceived threat. Typically, this will be a hard stare. The nose might wrinkle and expose teeth. The corners of the mouth are forward, and there may be low growling. The offensive dog isn't common. If an owner isn't there to secure the dog, other options need to be considered, including having an animal control officer present.
It's absolutely important to separate the human being and the animal if you can, because dogs feed off of their human beings. If the human being is upset, agitated, worried because of the interaction with the police for whatever reason, the dog is going to feed off that. Even a really friendly dog is going to become alert. And it naturally wants to protect their human being. So it's better to separate them.
The stressed dog has ears back, pupils dilated, and body lowered, almost crouching. The tail is down, he may be panting. This dog typically prefers to check out the situation and then head back to a quiet place to be left alone. The submissive dog may run up with a lowered body and low tail. Ears are back, eye contact is fleeting. Corners of the mouth are back, and he may lick his lips. This dog wants you to like him. The playful dog may bound out to meet visitors, barking, ears up but relaxed, with a full body tail wag and an open mouth. The neutral dog will be relaxed, standing upright, tail down, and mouth relaxed. He may bark and approach to see what's up. This is probably the most common posture encountered. The alert dog will stand tall and forward, mouth closed, ears forward, and tail out. This dog is deciding his next behavior. Breaking eye contact can diffuse the situation quickly. The defensive dog is scared. Ears are back, hackles are up, pupils dilated, body lowered, and tail tucked. This dog will only attack as a last resort and usually only if cornered. Dogs act differently in packs. If a pack of dogs is running loose, it's best to contact an animal control officer. Packs of strays will often run away. Previously owned or same household dogs may not show the same fear. They may stand their ground or posture aggressively. People should be kept away from the area until animal control can respond. People running, especially children running or riding bikes, and people yelling or screaming can trigger an aggressive response from the dogs. If immediate pack dispersal is required, use something loud or startling, like a flare or a flashbang device. Air horns, sirens, and flashers can also be used effectively. In the next section, we'll cover best practices for engaging animals in the field and non-lethal techniques for handling difficult dogs. Best practices for dog encounters start with the dispatcher. In the same way that dispatchers always ask if a weapon is present, they should always ask callers if a dog is present. If they are, dispatchers should advise callers to contain dogs securely in a non-public area.
Is there another one here that we're not seeing? Because we haven't.
Responding units should be advised if dogs are present and told where they are located. Dispatch should advise all responding units of addresses with potentially dangerous dogs on file. An overall strategy and specific tactics for dog encounters can be straightforward. Best practice calls for readiness. Always be alert for telltale signs of dogs. If dogs are encountered, assess the dog's body language for its overall fit into one of the typical categories. If owners are present, ask them to confine or restrain their dog securely. If owners aren't present, commands like sit or good dog can discourage aggressive behavior. Try not to approach dogs head-on. Avoid prolonged eye contact if possible. Turning your head slightly to offer a profile view can diffuse the situation. If dogs approach and their body language is threatening, pepper spray, taser, baton, or asp can be used to discourage them. Best practices for dog encounters can also mean calling for ACO backup. If there's reason to believe that there are dogs present and there's no need for urgency, calling for ACO backup is a best practice. An ACO can safely secure and remove dogs from the premises, helping officers to do their job effectively.
I am.
All officers have been trained in the use of pepper spray. The primary targets are the forehead, the nose, and the mouth. Multiple short bursts are most effective at 5 to 10 feet. If used at less than 5 feet, avoid shooting directly into the eyes. If a dog has been sprayed, tell the owner to help reduce the risk of secondary exposure. All officers have been trained in the use of tasers. Tasers should only be used when it's safe for the operator to approach the animal within range. A tasered animal may be disabled only momentarily. A plan should be in place to control the animal, taking into account that it could get up quickly. A baton or asp is usually sufficient in dealing with most dogs.
If an animal is approaching rapidly and the officer decides that they need to deploy their asp or baton, they will go into the same stance as they would in other situations. They can offer the asp or baton to the animal to sniff while giving commands. Stop, get back, sit. If the animal continues to come, strikes can be made. You can use the figure 8. You can also come over the top. In the figure 8, you would want to pay attention to the muzzle, the lips, and the nose. Good girl, good girl.
The catch pole, also called a control stick, is the go-to tool for animal control officers.
Good girl. What a good girl you are. That's a good girl.
It can be part of any officer's response, provided the pole is in good operating condition and the officer knows how to use it.
What a good girl you are. What a
Care
good
must be
girl.
taken to ensure that the loop is not too tight around the dog's neck. Also, for the animal's safety, poles must be removed before leaving an animal unattended.
Not every dog that you encounter in the field will need to have this apparatus used. You can use a slip leash, which actually does exactly that, right over the animal's head. But if in the event that you need to use the catch pole, just know that as you approach the animal, they might be apprehensive. You want to put the pole in front of you, the loop in front of you, give the animal some commands as to sit, to stay, or to back up, and then simply make step movements one at a time. Coming towards an animal quickly can cause it to be more fearful.
Many officers have been trained in the use of beanbag guns. Most agencies don't use beanbags on dogs. Oakland SWAT has had good results, forcing dogs to immediately retreat. As always, there should be a plan of action in case the dogs don't retreat or respond aggressively after being hit. Fire extinguishers can be a good non-lethal option. A few short blasts while giving verbal commands like sit or get back can be effective. Flares can be deployed to break up fights between dogs or to deter dogs from interfering with police activity. Tranquilizer projectors can be deployed by officers trained in their use. There are additional safety requirements pertaining to the use of these controlled substances. In general, all other reasonable efforts to restrain or subdue the animal should have been exhausted, including ACO backup. Deadly force should only be used if the dog is posing a real and immediate threat to the officer or general public. This training has covered how to use non-lethal techniques for handling dogs and using best practices. In the next section, Officer Barrett will provide a brief overview of important areas on a dog's body and will wrap up the training.
Mabel has been kind enough to accompany us here to help demonstrate some of the body parts of dogs that we've been talking about. On the head of the dog, we have an area that we call the muzzle, which consists of the nose, the lips, the teeth, the bridge of the nose. She wants a snack, of course. Let me give her one. There we go. If an officer were in a position where they need to deploy the ASP or the baton, those are the areas that would be their target. If the officer needed to deploy the OC spray, they would also target this area with an additional target of between the eyes or the eyes themselves. OC spray works the same as it does on people, and on mucous membranes it's very effective. If an officer needed to deploy the taser on a dog, they would deploy in the area of the chest or the side of the body. Something else to note is that there are some very small and sensitive bones located on top of the paw of dogs if a strike were need to be made with a baton or ASP. You're a good girl. This dog is giving a lot of eye contact, very confident. The ears are forward, not blinking, very concerned. There are several people in the kennel, and so he's trying to size up what the situation is. Rather than being retreated at the back of the kennel, he's at the front, and he shows his teeth, giving a lot of hard eye contact. There, and that would have been a bite right there. Not just the snarling, but rolling the lips back as well, and the ears. Is quite an intent there. That dog could possibly do quite a bit of damage. See the wagging tail? A little bit of conflict as well going on with this dog. My approach with the loop, the ears go back, tuck tail, and it turns out to really sort of be not a big deal for this dog because I've entered its territory and I'm not intimidated, and now the dog is intimidated. But this would not be a dog that you would trust, even though it appears as though the fight is over at this point. Once it's on a control stick, you can take the animal where you need it to go, into a vehicle or into a kennel. Giving me lots of eye contact there. The fight is over, and it has to do with the handler. If the handler is confident, there's no fight, it's all over with. You use your voice. You just reassure them it's all right. We're just going to take this off. There we go.
In the next part of this program, Lila Travis, an expert on wildlife, will cover how to handle wild animals on the job.
The basic rule of thumb when encountering wildlife is to just leave them alone and let them wander back. Unless they're obviously injured, there's really no reason for us to interfere. Mountain lions are a protected species. It is illegal to shoot a mountain lion in the state of California unless it's actively attacking someone. If you see a mountain lion, if you're on a trail in the parks and you're by yourself, you want to make sure that you're as big as possible and as loud as possible because you want to let the mountain lion know that you are not a prey animal. If this is in a more urban area, stay inside until the mountain lion has gone and call either animal control or the Department of Fish and Game. Just because the mountain lion is there doesn't mean it's hunting humans. It's after deer or it's gotten lost and wandered in the wrong direction out of the hills. Deer can be found both during the day and at night. They're not nocturnal animals. They are active both during the day and at night. Sometimes when they're found in unusual areas, it's just because they've wandered and gotten stuck. Some of the safety practices when you find a deer out during the day: don't crowd the deer. Give the deer space. Back off. Chances are the deer's looking for a nice quiet place to hunker down and wait until, it gets dark or there are less humans around so it can wander back to its family group. Raccoons are very common in the Oakland area, and they're often found breaking into attics or into basements. Just because a raccoon comes out during the day doesn't mean that they're sick. Sometimes they come out during the day looking for food, or if they're young, just to be mischievous. If they are obviously ill, if they're spinning in circles or foaming at the mouth or goopy eyes with signs of obvious illness, the best thing to do is to call animal control right away. A lot of people call us regularly to say that they saw a giant rat in their backyard, but they're actually seeing opossum. Their natural defense mechanism is to freeze and play dead, play possum. So you don't want to go up to the possum and pick him up or touch him. You just want to back off and let him go on his way. He's nomadic, so he's going to travel through your yard and keep going on his own mission. Another common urban wildlife animal are the skunks. Skunks are only able to see 18 inches in front of them, so they're extremely nearsighted. And as a result of this, they get startled very easily, which is why people often accidentally get sprayed. If you make noise and you let the skunk know that you're there, the skunk doesn't want to spray you. In Alameda County, skunks are considered a rabies vector species, but that does not mean that every skunk that you see has rabies. A skunk has rabies if it's exhibiting signs of illness, like foaming at the mouth. You should contact animal control right away so they can come and remove the skunk and get it treatment, find out what is wrong with it for everybody's safety. Oakland is home to many different species of bats as well. And bats are a common rabies vector species. So the rule is, if you ever find a bat on the ground, do not touch it, cover it up, and call vector control or animal control as soon as possible.
One of the things that I've taken away from this production is animal behavior. I love animals, I love dogs, but I could always learn. As we show how professional we are as Oakland police officers, I hope you take this training and add it to your toolbox and use it in your day-to-day activities to ensure that we do a good job for the residents of the city of Oakland.